Your car won't start, and you hear a single click when you turn the key. Don't panic. That single clicking sound often makes people think the starter motor has failed, but that's not always the case. A weak battery, poor electrical connections, a faulty starter relay, or even other starting system problems can produce the exact same symptom. In this video, we'll explain what that single click actually means, the most common causes behind it, and a few simple tests that can help you narrow down the problem before replacing any parts. What's actually happening? So, what does that single click actually mean? In most cases, that clicking sound comes from the starter solenoid. When you turn the key or press the start button, the starter solenoid receives an electrical signal and moves into position to engage the starter motor with the engine's flywheel. Normally, the starter motor immediately begins turning the engine so it can start. But when you hear only one solid click and nothing else happens, it usually means the solenoid is working, but the starter motor isn't turning the engine. That can happen for several different reasons. The battery may not be supplying enough power under load, the electrical current may not be reaching the starter properly, or the starter motor itself may have failed. The key point is this: a single click tells you the starting system is trying to work, but something is preventing the engine from cranking. So, what are the most common problems that can cause this? Let's go through them one by one. Number 1. Most common causes. Let's start with one of the most common possibilities: a weak or discharged battery. Even if the battery still has enough power to turn on the lights, dashboard, or radio, it may no longer be able to deliver the high amperage needed to crank the engine. As a result, the starter solenoid clicks, but the starter motor never receives enough power to turn the engine. But the battery itself isn't always the problem. Corroded battery terminals can create enough electrical resistance to restrict current flow, even if the battery is fully charged. Loose or damaged battery cables can cause the same symptom by interrupting the electrical path between the battery and the starter motor. If the battery and its connections are in good condition, the next component to consider is the starter relay. A faulty relay may click when it's activated, but fail to deliver full battery power to the starter solenoid, preventing the engine from cranking. If the relay is working properly, the problem may be with the starter motor itself. Over time, the internal brushes, windings, or the starter solenoid can wear out, allowing you to hear a single click without the starter motor actually turning. And although it's much less common, a seized engine can produce the same symptom. In that situation, the starter motor tries to turn the engine, but the engine is mechanically locked and cannot rotate. Fortunately, before replacing any of these components, there are a few simple tests that can quickly help narrow down the real cause. Number 2. Quick diagnostic tests. Before replacing any parts, let's go through a few simple tests that can help narrow down the problem. Start with the headlights. Turn them on, then try starting the engine. If the headlights become noticeably dim when you hear the single click, the battery may not be supplying enough power under load, even if it appears to be fully charged. But if the headlights stay bright, and you still hear only one click, the battery is less likely to be the main problem, so it's time to move on to the next test. Try jump-starting the vehicle. If the engine starts normally with a jump start, the battery or charging system is the most likely cause. But if you still hear the same single click after a successful jump start, the problem is more likely in the starter circuit, the starter relay, the wiring, or the starter motor itself. Next, inspect the battery terminals and cables. Make sure they're clean, tight, and free of corrosion. If you find loose connections or corrosion, cleaning and tightening them may restore proper current flow to the starter. If everything looks good, try shifting the transmission into neutral and attempt to start the engine again. If the engine starts in neutral, but not in park, the neutral safety switch or shifter adjustment may be preventing the starting system from operating correctly. Finally, if all of these checks pass and you still hear only one solid click, the next step is to verify that battery voltage is reaching the starter. If proper voltage reaches the starter, but the engine still won't crank, the starter motor itself becomes the most likely cause. These simple tests won't identify every possible problem, but they can quickly narrow down the diagnosis and help you avoid replacing parts unnecessarily. Number 3. Final diagnosis. By now, you should have a much better idea of what's preventing your engine from cranking. If the headlights dim significantly or the engine starts with a jump start, the battery or charging system is the most likely cause. If the battery checks out, but you find loose or corroded connections, restoring those connections may solve the problem without replacing any parts. If the battery, cables, and relay all test good and battery voltage is reaching the starter, then the starter motor itself becomes the most likely culprit. And if every part of the starting system appears to be working properly, but the engine still won't turn over, it's time to consider a mechanical problem, such as a seized engine. The goal isn't to guess which part has failed, it's to follow the evidence and let the results of your tests lead you to the most likely cause. If you're dealing with a single-click no-start problem, let us know in the comments. Tell us the make, model, and year of your vehicle, and let us know what happened when you performed the simple tests we covered in this video. Did the headlights dim? Did a jump start make any difference? Or do you still hear the same single click? The more details you provide, the easier it is to narrow down the most likely cause. And your experience may also help other drivers facing the same problem. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.